They saw the place where the possible met the impossible and moved toward it. They walked for many an hour and many a day, until, finally, they crossed the edge of paradox. Greetings, humanity, and welcome once more to Channel Otherdoc. I am Jim. I'm your friendly Lacuna GM, and this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. I use he, him pronouns. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice of life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously. We're going to go ahead and go around and say hi to everybody, see who they are and who they're playing. And we will be starting once again with Djinnaya. Hello.
Hello, my name is Djinnaya. I use she, her pronouns, as does my character. And my character is Shah Ganelon, an established gallant of the Order of Makers who cages adversaries with the names of my family.
Excellent. And now let us head over to Wilde. Hello.
Yes, hello. I'm a model engineer, I use he, they pronouns, and I am playing Shantano, an itinerant empath of the Order Apostate who splinters into fragments. They use they, them pronouns.
All right. And now let us head over to Arras. Hello.
Hello, I'm Arras. My pronouns are she, they, and today I am playing Aroshka Ruzik, aromatic empath apostate who converses with everything, and her pronouns are she, her.
Excellent. And finally, over to Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Anino. I use he, him pronouns, and I play Mac the Husk, I should know this by now. The established enthusiastic of the Order of the Goetica who provides a vessel for spirits. And Mac uses they, them pronouns. Although, I'm not sure if that first part of his title is going to remain the same because of last week's episode.
That is fair. That is very fair. So there is, we had a lot happen last time. Had a little bit of an encounter with someone, and we are we'll get into what that was in just a moment. First, let me go ahead and just as a reminder, like we do with other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or hold up a card or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. if something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain body horror, surreal imagery, spiders, snakes, and references to memory loss, death, and existential crises. At any time, you can type !ISCW to see that. I believe I also have that in our in rotating, so it should come up from time to time in chat on its own. Also, please remember that we have an open door policy, which means any of us and any of you can always feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It's just a game, and mental health is always more important. So, looking this over, we had a few things happen. The morning that we are currently experiencing, we had Mac woke up, but seemingly in the middle of a field of stars, and realized that ultimately that they were dreaming. But this is when their nemesis, Dark-Eyed Manfred, appeared to them and offered to made a quick offer to be like, if you agree that we can just stay out of each other's way, I will tell you who burned down your house. Which is a thing that happened before the campaign started, but we talked about during the our first session, and is just part of the established background. Mac refused this, and was woken up suddenly by their familiar, Sagan, who basically was letting them know that they were flickering in and out a bit, even though it was daylight. They ultimately caught up once again with Shah and Shantanu and Vormiravanus, who is not with us tonight. They they had brunch, and they determined that they would probably need to try to talk soon to the people with the Church of Midnight, as right now Shah is holding an infiltrator to that church prisoner in this tiny little cage that she carries, as proof that that is a thing that is happening, and that the Church of Midnight should not be coming after them. They should be coming instead after the Vespertine, which is the secret organization that this infiltrator comes from. The thing being that their brunch was interrupted by the arrival of an envelope, which Vor opened and looked at, and it said something to the effect that if you want to avoid suffering, please meet me today in the Park of the Path. And then they received a vision of the multi-blocked tower in which Mac currently resides, known what we refer to as the Jenga Tower, collapsing to the ground on top of Shah's mine, which is next door, and causing general destruction and mayhem. So they immediately got up and went to the Park of the Path, noting on the way there that the tower was in fact still standing in reality. That was just a sort of a, shall we call it a warning? We'll call it a warning. They went down. It's the Park of the Path is in Fartown, sort of on the eastern side. They went there and found Dark-Eyed Manfred there, waiting for them by the Blue Fountain. It is arranged like the Path of Suns, and so there are number of distinct colors there available. I believe the materials that describe it say that there are 9 fountains, so I can only assume the 9th fountain is invisible or just spouts invisible water. I'm not sure. But that said, there was a brief conference as well before they entered the park. They had they were being followed by a little pygmy alpaca with black fur that has been following Shah around for a while, and Shah is sort of adopting. They discovered through mind reading that being's name is Mop. They also discovered, as Max summoned his spirit friend, the Hunt, that looking around, that Mop is in fact a creature of the void. But it can't possibly be harmful because it is indeed fuzzy. So, who knows? But the Hunt also confirmed that there's no one in the park. That was just a projected image of Dark-Eyed Manfred, although Manfred apparently, or someone, had set up a sort of an enchantment to prevent anyone from overhearing what was said while in the park, when you go in. Or generally, for the most part, perceiving what's going on in there. The Hunt, of course, knows how to get around these things to an extent. But they then went on into the park. They even cast, I believe, a divination to determine what was going to happen if they went along with it. And what they learned is that they might get more information or they might get something else out of it. And so they went in. They had a nice little chat with Manfred. I'll go ahead and display the image of Manfred real quick here, just so folks can once again see. They had a little chat with him, and he offered a prisoner exchange. The clients whom he works for were holding the foreman, the owner of that tower, and who had been doing a certain amount of, I guess, what he was sort of thinking of as trying to take them down from the inside, in a place called the Endless Machine. They saw. They saw. Don't read chat, Jim. They saw. So they saw him there because Manfred projected an image, and the idea was that Manfred wanted them to let go of the prisoner. It was to trade for the prisoner that they had in the cage, in Shah's cage. They went and they had a little huddle off to the side, and they decided that what they would try to do instead is to cast a spell to pull the foreman out of where he was being imprisoned through the projected image of him provided by Manfred. They did this at perhaps a bit of cost, as Vor cast the spell. It was a very powerful Weaver spell and seemed to have just a tiny bit of a boost from, as she was looking into Chantineau's mind at the time, who was watching things on the other, sort of looking beyond that portal for her. She was able to get a little boost from someone connected to Chantineau. Our friend, the enemy of reason, a void demon, who, for reasons of their own, have decided to help out on this occasion. So little tendril of darkness reached forward and helped grab the foreman and yank him out of where he was, and he collapsed to the ground in front of them. Manfred just made a brief comment about them not being interested in fair play, apparently. And I believe someone said to him, if you're losing the game, you change the rules, something like that. And he said, well, that's a good idea. Or words to that effect. And he said, oh, by the way, I do hope you've had time to inspect your homes. Being away a week is a very long time. A week is a very long time to be away from home. And then he vanished. And that is where we left off. I think he also did indicate to everyone, he did mention to everyone that they were being followed. And he did not mean the alpaca. But that is where we have left off. I think that probably the jolt of what has happened and the buzzing in the brain has just sort of kind of gotten Vor to just sort of slip into the gray, as that was a major undertaking. Emerging from the gray, however, will be Eroshka. As
trade places.
Yeah, essentially. A little do-si-do happening. This has been happening during an interesting dimensional thing. I should draw a card. Just in case something awesome and dimensional is happening during this phasing in and out of the gray. Just in case. And to sort of figure out what our how things are going right now and how dire things are right now for everyone. Let me see what I've drawn here. I have drawn a card. It doesn't... Come on, Windows. Show me the card. Okay. I shall try visually inspecting it. See if that is at all helpful. No, this is very tiny. Okay. Huh. I'm gonna try one more time, and then I'm gonna try doing something else. It appears that the app is a little sluggish today. But I was able to see that, let me see if I've got the card numbers down anywhere. As that will probably help. If indeed that is the case. If not, then we may have to do this the old-fashioned way. Cool. Thanks. I'm getting a link here real quick. Let me go here. D2D. Excellent. Good. Thank you. That will help a lot. Okay. Let me see if it's pulled up yet. No. Let me try one more time. There it is. Okay, good. It came through. So once again, the card we have pulled is card number 15. This is the Revolutionary. As a reminder, because I'm not sure if we've had it since we came back this year or not, so I'll go ahead and read it out here. It is in the Secrets family. It is lust. Its meanings are lust, sexuality, change, and destruction. Okay. Sovereign of the family of secrets, the Revolutionary is a force for change, quite possibly the least secret of the family. The Revolutionary is brazen and bold, changing what needs changing, even if through destruction or violence. Right. The strong sexuality of the Revolutionary is obvious, but this aspect is quite separate from the other. There is no suggestion of sexual violence here, but instead sincere passion and mutual attraction. In divination, generally considered a positive card, the Revolutionary indicates sex and sexual energy, or alternatively change for the better. However, less often, the interpretation focuses on the destructive nature of change or the potential negative aspects of sexual desire unless this card in turn says something important is coming to an end. Okay. All right. I am going to presume, then, I'm not going to even make any assumptions about this, but I'm going to guess that just as far as the transition into from the gray back into the physical realm goes, Roshka, I'm guessing that wherever you were having a good time. But whatever that means whatever it means. But and it doesn't even need, and it doesn't. We can be very as general about that as we like. So yeah, Eroshka will sort of fade in. And you're in this park. It has these fountains. You actually recognize the park. This is the yeah, you've been here before. You seem to remember there's something. There are some interesting things about this park, as far as the fountains having kind of a connection to their respective suns. You think there's and there are like things you can do here that you can't do in other parts of Fartown. But that's what that's sort of the impression you get. And as everyone's sort of standing around here near this fountain, this blue fountain, and it appears that the foreman is lying collapsed at the foot of the blue fountain.
Oh no.
So what are we all doing?
Standing around looking bewildered.
I'm going to run forward and try to check on the foreman and get him to his feet.
So the foreman is unconscious. He's breathing okay. He's like something. He had a very nasty shock from that spell. It looked like. So it looks like the spell did not go off without a hitch, but it was successful. So he is physically here. He seems intact. He seems, as far as you can tell, he probably is going to need help. So like right now he's kind of a dead weight. He's not really he's not responding well to trying to pick him up per se.
Well, I have to say that 4 has excellent timing.
If I were to, like, can I do anything to bring him back, or is it just going to be a time-based thing? Like, I don't...
You can try to bring him around. You think that, yeah, he has been, he is under, his body's undergone a lot of stress. You think you can bring him around? He probably won't be conscious for very long, but you can't. You probably can. You know, you'll have to like keep waking him up basically to get him to, which is possible. You can totally do that.
That's fine. If first aid doesn't work, then brute strength does.
Fair.
And I will just fireman carry him.
I'll admire your muscles.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a blacksmith.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, you actually, yeah, you're able to. He's very, yeah, you can kind of get him up, and if you, so you do have a choice of like if you can have him like sort of barely conscious and stumbling along with you, or if you want, you can carry him and he'll be asleep. Either way.
Oh, maybe barely conscious and stumbling is better for the sake of we could be attacked at any moment.
All right. You never know.
Do you need me to make a roll? I do have a point in first aid.
No, I mean, knowing you know first aid, this is simple stuff right now.
All right,
so
awesome.
If you want to do a deeper diagnosis of what exactly has been happening to him, then there might be a roll involved. But
I just want to do whatever the equivalent is of dumping a cold glass of water in his face and being like, "We have to go."
Okay.
So I'll do that while everybody else brings the Roshka up to date.
Yeah.
Oh, here, use this, and he hands the mimosa hat.
Oh.
I think that'll
In
sting
the
in
meantime-
the eyes.
Yeah, well, but it would be refreshing. Max says as he starts scribbling another summoning circle.
Gotcha.
And while Shaw is working on stirring the foreman, Mac is going to summon the ice leopard.
Okay.
Valise.
Yeah, I looked it up. Yeah, I actually finally went back and I watched all the episodes involving them. So yeah, this is Avalis. We were calling them Evilise for a while because we didn't have the name immediately in front of us. And
Close.
we got close. But let me go ahead and grab that here. Yeah. So you're doing that. You're drawing a circle and you're summoning them. And Shaw's trying to bring the foreman around. What else is happening? And I guess is Shantano bringing Arushka up to date on what's been happening? Perhaps. Yeah, or are you just sort of letting her figure it out for herself?
Yeah, I guess may as well. Or I'm wondering if Shantano would still be thinking about the face he's.
I think he froze.
Oh. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what. That was weird. Oh no. He's very thoughtful though. That's very good.
Myself, looking through the portal.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, you're back.
You're back.
Yeah, am I back?
Hey. Sorry, I'm sorry. I missed all of that.
I think Shantano would probably still be thinking about the face they saw while when they were looking through the portal, since they were able to see who was holding the foreman hostage. You know, the one who was hurting the foreman and all that.
Yes. Let me see real quick. I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check who I think that is. Go ahead. Because I have to make. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. It's a ghost. It's a specter. I don't know if you would. This is yeah, this is yeah, as far as you can tell, this is someone who is one of the dead, but does not currently possess a body, but is sort of nightmare, gone slightly nightmarish. I think that Yeah, there might be something slightly familiar about the face. Possibly. But nothing... Yeah, or about either about the face or about them. But it's one of those things where it's like if so, it was a long time ago, so it's hard to, it's not ringing any immediate bells.
Okay.
But so I'm gonna say the ice jaguar appears. We've been interchangeably referring to them as an ice leopard and an ice jaguar. Maybe there are two of them. Maybe one is Evilise and the other is Avalis. I'm not sure. Maybe they just pretend to be the same one. I don't know. So they appear.
Maybe it just changes its spots.
It's gone cheetah. So they just sort of appear and sort of stretches, and they look up. It seems a little bit easier to summon things inside the park, which is interesting. But they look up. Yes.
I request a service. It appears my associates and I have been followed, and I would like you to ascertain as to the identity of this person, or persons. Sagan will accompany you if you do accept this mission, and will report back to me while you follow them. Discreetly.
They pace around for in a little circle inside the circle for a moment, and they'll look over at the different fountains that are here, and trying to think what they would want. What would they want today? I think they're actually going to ask if yeah. So I think what they'll ask for is they either want to experience something or they want to, yeah. There is a point where they're going to ask, all right, I would ask one thing. I would like the ability to hitch a ride the next time you're doing one of those dining orgies that you seem to do every day.
You want to go to brunch with my associates?
I just merely wish to make use of your husk services during that time. Curious. I'm curious of the experience.
So long as you promise to be on. So long as you promise to be on tippity top of your manners. There is a matter of decorum that needs to be observed.
Are we really well behaved at lunch?
It's a good question. And they'll just sort of look around at your companions and just sort of say, I can promise to be as well behaved as they are at the event. As the rest of you.
As well behaved as Shaw.
Good.
They'll scrunch their eyes up and just sort of looking over at Shantano. What about this one? Says, gesturing with a paw.
Definitely not.
Well, I'll settle for this one. So just sort of gesturing at Eroshka.
Might be worse.
For all intents and purposes, he might just forget everything, so, you know. Very well. After
All right.
lunch.
Very well then. And but yeah, for now, if you want, they'll go ahead and they will start scouting around.
I'm sure this will work out.
I'm sure everything will be fine. It'll be great. Let me just compare a couple of levels of things. I'm sure everything will be all right. In the meantime, also, Shaw, you are getting the foreman sort of very shakily to his feet. He's just kind of like, what, anyone see that bus?
We did see the bus. The bus is back through the other side of the portal, and now you're here, and the bus is not here, but the bus is coming, and we should probably go.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, lead on.
And I'll turn to everybody and say, we lost 4. Should we go to the Church of Midnight anyway? I feel like we should get rid of the thing in the cage before your Manifred friend comes back.
At this point, I'm gonna be like, ooh, isn't that the guy who maybe broke into my house?
Yeah.
Apparently, he's broken into all of our houses. So,
Yeah,
That sounds bad.
he did say something about needing to check our houses, so maybe we should do that first.
I think they'll keep for now.
I mean, if he only did the same thing in your house as it does in mine, then you maybe stole something. Well, he didn't steal anything. He just rifled through my stuff.
I mean, I technically don't even have a house, so.
I think we should go to the church first.
Yeah, let's do that.
Did we say that Iblis was level 4 or 5 around there somewhere? Do we remember? Trying to remember.
I think level 5.
So, yeah, okay, all right. If we go, yeah, okay, that'll work. All right. So, what are you folks doing? You heading out?
We are heading to the Church of Midnight.
Okay. So, as you kind of you head out of the park. You're going to want to head back to the gate and head to the Confederacy of Cloisters. So, you're actually not very far from the park. Let me grab the map again real quick just to have the frame of reference for where you are. Let's see. I've moved it down, if anyone else wants to see it, I've moved it down to the under the maps, under the handouts in the map subfolder. So yeah, you're heading northwest toward the gate. And so you're heading along the streets past or just sort of north of where Criven's Books is, and once again I'll let the audience see where that is just in case they would like to know. And as you sort of are getting up to that point, it doesn't take very long because you sort of notice, Mac, you notice that Evelis is sort of tussling with something. Kind of now, it's there as it gets to a point, it starts tussling with something that you can't quite see, until when you look over at it. It's a weird thing, because you see periodically they run forward and they tussle with something that you can just see for a split second, actually, and then when the moment you look at it, it vanishes. It's from what you can make out, it's like there are, it's tussling with like a little clawed creature. Isn't it? But you can only see it for a split second before, sort of like out of the corner of your eye. When you look over at it. So there is something, and you can see it basically as from the way that the ice leopard, the ice panther, and the ice jaguar is the ice large cat is going back and forth. It's like there's more than one of these things, or the one is capable of moving incredibly fast.
So my follow-up question would be, have we ever decided what special properties the knife that Shaw had finished for Mac, the one that they picked up from the from Yestervale's blacksmith, what it can do?
I remember you talking about it just being very well balanced, but I don't know if there was I think there might have been other things you were going to put it. What do you remember?
We didn't kindle it though. We made it an object of power. And then so let me look at the level of effects table real quick. Because I remember where it was, but not what it was.
Yeah, because there would have been time to finish that by now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we easily could, yeah.
Levels of effect. It's a level 3, and so it was the +1 on significant action ongoing. Includes adding 3 bene to a stat pool.
Okay. So this means that it's going to give you a +1, and also 3 bene to play with if you want to do a thing with it.
But it was specific. I don't remember because we talked about whether you were a throwing knife. It's a throwing knife, right? So it would be a.
Yes, he did throw it to kill one of those bug things.
So it would be a +1 on range attack, and it would give you 3 bene to accuracy. And it has a depletion.
Okay.
We haven't played this way, but it has a depletion level of 0 to 4. So when you use it, you have to roll the die, and if you get a 0 to 4, then it's not going to work to give you the +1 and the bene next time.
Got it. Well, no pressure. So, yeah, I think Mac is going to, he's going to gamble here a bit. You see that the knife is just going to slide out of his sleeve. And he's just going to hazard a guess and then throw the knife in the general direction of where he thinks that it is in relation to Evelise.
Okay. Now, because this thing is as good as it is at concealing itself, the base challenge for this is 9.
Okay.
And you're gonna get hang on, stand by. Wait, hang on. I have to make sure things have to be in play. Hold on. Let me pull up the thing that's in play. Because you're gonna get one for the for the knife. But let me see here. This is okay. Looking at that. Okay, yeah, no, you're not secrets, so you don't get that. But let me double check on sovereigns really quickly because I need to. I'm slipping here. I need to make sure I pull up the thing. That the reference document. Sovereign +1 to all actions. We've got a sovereign card in play, so actually you get another one, so you're it's again down to 7 or better, and then there's anything you want to add on top of that.
I'd like to use my martial arts skill, which is at a level 2. Yeah. For anyone watching, we arranged a special thing. I think it was during one of our for anyone watching and coming back to us for a while, we did arrange a special thing for the martial arts skill, on one of the side sessions. Oh, that's true. You also get the equipment bonus of having the knife. So it's actually we're already starting with 6 or better. Martial arts skill. How much do you have of that? 2 levels.
Okay, so that's going to bring it down to 4 or better. And do you want to throw any of those bene, those accuracy bene on top, or you got one right now?
We'll throw another.
Okay. So that'll bring it down to 3 or better. If you want to do it. Yeah. Anything else you want to do
Those
with
are
this?
decent odds.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can use my game theory.
Almost, not quite.
Is there anything else I can use? Isn't Evilise technically helping me?
That is true. If you're going for the same, yeah, if you're waiting and if you're waiting and watching for them to attack, then yes, that'll knock it down another down to 2 or better. Okay, that's a 9. That's considerably better than a 2. So let me take a look at the. You take a look at this being here. Okay. So it's the weirdest thing. So you aim your knife at where you believe the creature is going to be. You hurl the knife, and the knife normally does how much?
I think the damage level of the throwing knife is probably a 1, but Mac has a secret called Lethal Lore, which adds +3 to any attack against a single target.
And then the knife is enhanced as by the item of power thing as well. Is that also for the damage? Possibly. Well, we'll see. I mean, yeah. I mean, this is enough to be able to wound the thing anyway. So yeah, the thing that happens is you do hit it, and it is weird. Once everyone just sort of looks over in the direction of this thing, you see it again for a split second. It is it's kind of a smallish creature. So I want to say almost like goblin-esque, a little bit in the way that it looks. It has these very sharp claws, but rather immediately, the moment you look at it, it vanishes. And
does the knife also vanish?
I think that the knife's gonna clatter to the ground. After it, yeah, because I mean it had to, you got it, and then it was like, and it didn't quite kill it, but it's there's this brief moment where it's like it pulls it out. And the knife clatters to the ground. So the knife is still there. But so you do that. And I think what's going to happen is you hear this. You sort of look over, down the street, or you hear from down the street. You hear someone doing the finger whistling thing that I can't do, but you're sort of, and you hear just sort of like just a couple of people sort of emerge from the shadows, and they're like, and you see the you can tell by the actions of Evelis that The being sort of like looking around, sort of turns to you, and just sort of to indicate that something, the behavior of these things is changing. It's hard to describe something that that like this, but these two people that just sort of stepped out of the alleyway. They're wearing sort of the dark kind of gothic-ish clothing that you would associate sort of the black and silver that you would associate with the Church of Midnight rank and file. And they're wearing backpacks of some kind, and they just sort of adjust their weight for a moment. And you see striding from beyond, from where the whistling came. You see an individual stepping out and stepping forward, and he says, "I think that's quite enough. We've proven our point." As he says, looking over at, he doesn't say it to you. He says that to the two that just stepped out of the alley. This individual I need to tell you a couple of things about him. He's about 6 feet tall. He wears a black coat with swirling stars within it over his broad shoulders, and muscular frame. He has an unkempt shock of black hair and a dark blue star tattoo on one cheek. He's wearing a medallion that looks like a clock face with the hands at midnight. Everyone on the street is giving him a wide berth. A couple of things. First off, I have a picture that I will show you of this individual. And then I shall also show the audience this individual, just so that we have that going. There we are. And what I'm going to say is that yes, it does look very 70s. He just sort of strides forth, almost not exactly lazily, but he's very a sort of weird, confident, lazy 70s rocker person type, basically looking thing. And what I'm going to say, and this is going to be as we play with reality a little bit, a couple of you are going to recognize him from before the war. This is obviously someone who is currently involved in the Church of Midnight, but I would like you to tell me who it is that recognizes him, and from what you think you recognize him, if you recall correctly. Anyone want to volunteer? Or shall I just pick on someone?
I think you should just pick on someone.
I'll pick on someone. I think actually that, so one thing that does make sense is that I think Mac would probably have seen this person before. And so there is some memory of this person from before the war. It doesn't necessarily have to be conflict, per se. But I will say this person also might have, you may know this, Vor might also possibly know this person, but we don't have to necessarily include that right now. What do you think?
I'm going to say that Mac has a fractured memory of a job interview with this person.
Okay. Interesting. And would anyone else like to have prior knowledge of this individual? Ah, excellent. Okay. Yes, no? No, you don't have to.
I'll
Sorry,
go
ahead.
if nobody else wants to do anything. If nobody else has something. I'd like to flip it around if I have a memory of this person from before the war, and I'd like it to be pretty close to the war, and I would just like to be in the process of making something, and I would like him to have said something that was almost more of a moral conscience, like more the sort of thing that Shaw would say now.
Ooh.
And have Shaw just turn back and be like, we have to do what we have to do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, and that actually makes sense to an extent. Yeah. And this was, since this is very close to the war, I have to say that this was also kind of weird coming from someone from the Church of Midnight, but the sort of the idea of trying to be tolerant. He was saying something. He was talking about tolerance. Both you and Mac remember this guy goes by the name of Miterand. Or Miterand, depending on which side of the room you're standing. But he will just sort of he'll wave off the he'll start approaching. He'll wave off he seems to be waving off the two Midnighters. Is anyone doing anything?
Mac is going to just direct Sagan to fetch the knife for him.
Right. And he'll flap off and grab the knife.
Yeah. I think Mac remembers part of that job interview. I think he remembers this person asking him, so what motivates you? And Mac would have responded with one word, spite.
I have to ask you something. Was this job interview something that happened in Saturnine, or was this something that happened in Shadow?
In Saturnine. I'll
Okay.
say that it's in Saturnine, but Shadow didn't really stretch too far from circumstances.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that answer right there is a good one. So yeah, he will step forward and he'll just sort of be looking at, sort of watching all casually. You know that he sort of is looking for face to face. Now, what possible reason would you all have to treat with Manfred? He says, sort of putting his hands in his coat pockets.
Does he by any chance have like a handkerchief in his pocket sticking out? Like a pocket square?
He has a little, what sort of looks like a sort of a starry pattern sort of moving, sort of like a sort of dark one.
Yeah. As Mac responds, he's going to reach out and try to borrow the pocket square.
Yeah, he'll
It's not so much that we were. Yeah, and he's going to start cleaning his knife with it.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't seem to care. It doesn't seem to faze him.
Yeah. But he's going to fold up the pocket square, which probably now has whatever blood that creature might have had. And he's just going to fold it and tuck it neatly back into the gentleman's jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Then he's just going to say, it's not so much that you were treating with them, it's sort of like he was rather insistent on sharing his opinions.
Broke into my house. So.
He just sort of looks at you for a second. I remember your face.
So do a lot of people.
Yeah. Having a little trouble placing it.
Ooh. Well, maybe we met.
It's possible. He just sort of looks around and says, you all know that when Benson came back to us, he was had something of a grave shock. He was babbling quite a lot about train rides and then getting enveloped in what I think might be the dark side of the Grey. You all traumatized him quite a bit. We're thinking of transferring him to the Home of the Forgotten. We were none too pleased about that.
I turn to Mac and say, I've lost track. Was that one a traitor too?
No, I can't quite remember. I think he might have been someone that we met on the train.
Oh, okay. But were they all traitors on the train? I mean, this one was a traitor, but I don't remember. Do you know who's a traitor in your organization and who's not? Or are you a traitor in your organization as well? I get so confused. This, like, shades of bad decisions.
Nice to see you again, too. And he just sort of turns and we'll just sort of gesture with his head to sort of imply that I'm going to walk this way if you would like to walk with me, basically, is the sort of way he implies with his gesture. And he starts turning around and walking in the direction of the gate.
Yeah, I'll walk with him.
Is Mop still with us?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mop is Mop was waiting for you. And it basically was sort of waiting in one of the alleys nearby while the fracas was happening, and it sort of comes bouncing back up, sort of trotting back up, and we'll sort of nuzzle Shaw in the side a little bit.
I'll go, oh, sheesh, and then I'll try to wrestle the foreman's weight over a little bit so I can
that's true. You're still carrying it.
Electrify it and hand it to Mop.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sort of feel like you need to take care of him before we chat.
The foreman?
He points to the foreman. Yeah.
Okay. That would be nice, but we're sort of in a hurry. There's a bit of a problem with Manfred and houses. But sure, yes, let's take care of the foreman.
Right. He just sort of glances over, and he'll turn and he'll start moving in the direction of the tower of your neighborhood. So he'll walk with you a ways while you're doing that. He'll say, so I feel like this is one of those stories we need to unfold a bit at a time, yeah?
Probably. How long have you had some strange disappearing thing following us?
That? Yeah, since you got back in town. After Benson came back, we got one or two messages from Vormira. Where is she, by the way? Is she? Is she off?
Yes.
Right. But So we weren't quite certain how to take it. As, it's a thing where you, figure out... You actually, just to be reminded, you actually killed some of those, the rest of the you threw one off the train, on the train. There were four Church of Midnight, apparently, people. One you trapped in a cage, and it turned out the one in the cage is with the Vespertine. One you threw off the train. Did you kill the other two? I think you killed the other two, but I'm trying to remember. Clearly.
You're muted.
Yeah.
Sorry. I feel like one of them was shredded by their own paper tiger.
Yeah, that's possible. Okay. Yeah.
So is Benson the one we threw off the train?
Yeah, that's the one. He's not quite in his right mind at this point, but we're doing what we can for him. But as rather a lot of what he's seen has been garbled at this point, we're not sure how much you... I'll be honest, I'm not sure exactly how much you actually did, and if you're in your attempts to take us on, or how much you or how much he did to himself.
Well, he did try to ruin brunch.
Oh,
No.
God. You still... And he just sort of looks over at Shaw. You still have a thing about brunch?
Doesn't everyone have a thing about brunch?
Yeah, a little bit, I suppose.
So did you send them to the train to do whatever ritual it was on the train?
No, that... He says... wait. God damn it, I need names in front of me. No, that was Caliadni's idea.
The name of the person in your cage?
I don't know. Did we catch her name? I don't think.
No,
we
you've
caught her name.
never talked to her about
Never
her name.
asked.
You never asked her name.
Minor details.
You do a quick description, height, hair color.
She was leading them at the time. I believe she was supposed to be leading whatever ritual they were doing.
Okay. And this was a Church of Midnight then?
Yes.
Okay.
So that was my
That's-
understanding. But she's about... she's about 5'6". Sort of auburn hair, probably dyed a little darker.
Yeah. You know she's not actually a Church of Midnight person, right?
Isn't she?
I don't think so. I mean, either that or the Church of Midnight is not the Church of Midnight, I suppose, in which case this conversation's going to get increasingly uncomfortable.
No. We're definitely who we are, but that's the... So you're suggesting that she has been pretending? Or that she's working for someone else? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's kind of the definition of traitor.
You have proof?
Well, I mean, I can pull it back out of her mind.
I'm fairly certain that Manfred wouldn't want us to deliver this person back to you. Which we were kind of on the way of doing, by the way.
All right. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I can
say
do.
that this whole exercise of following us. Yeah, I just want to say that this whole exercise of tailing us and observing our personal matters is not exactly a trust-building exercise.
Neither is imprisoning some of our numbers or throwing them off trains, is it? But I'm willing
Yes, well,
but I'm willing to talk about this. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here, anyway. And we were following you, trying to find out what it was that you were on about. There's I will tell you what. He says, and you're getting close. You're almost at the tower at this point. He says, if you'd be willing to turn her over to me, I will ensure that any further reprisal from us ceases until we've had a chance to investigate. We don't want to. If this is true, then then we've obviously got a bigger problem here.
I feel like we should hear more of your side of the story before we do that.
All right.
We
And
can sit down, we can lay down the foreman, we could have some tea and a mimosa, and talk like civilized people.
so he checks his watch, and he'll just sort of look. He'll say, "I've got a little time, all right, but I'm going to have to get back to the cathedral in a little bit." But he sort of nods, and he'll let you do what you need to do to take care of the foreman. And I mean, he'll actually, if it looks like you're having any trouble with the foreman, he'll actually offer to help. But that's depends on however you want to react to that. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
think Shaw would accept help. I mean, she's only got basic first aid skills.
Okay. Yeah, he seems to know a little bit about healing. Let me actually just double check to see if they. Oh, they didn't. Okay. Oh, is that what? Oh, okay. That is funny. Sometimes you look at something and you realize, wait a minute. So. Yeah, you'll basically he will so where do you take the foreman into the tower, or do you take him into your mine, or where do you take him?
I don't know. I think I'm walking with everyone, and I'm gonna kind of lag in the back and see which direction Mac goes. Because it's kind of Mac's house now, and so I don't want to take the foreman to Mac's house, but it was the foreman's house, so I'm just gonna let Mac decide which direction we go in, and then follow.
Oh, okay. So you'll see Mac just stand outside of the Jenga tower, and then he's just gonna stare at it for a bit as a couple of pieces move in and out, and one particular piece gets brought down to the bottom floor, and then opens up, but it's not like a door opens up. It's like the whole block, Jenga block, just sort of unfolds like some sort of like how a dollhouse would unfold if someone wanted to play with it. that it would be the foreman's apartment, the one that he's been crashing in.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that opens up.
Yeah, I'll carry him in and put him in whatever sort of bed thing doesn't look like Mac has been sleeping in it.
So yeah, there are. You've been in here before, Sha. It's a, sort of narrow apartment, sort of New York style narrow apartment, with tiles and stuff around, and various workbenches and things, just sort of piled up. Kitchenette. There are two beds of a sort. There is a hammock, and there is a bedroom. There's a small bedroom with sort of a very basic small bed in it. So you've got a hammock or a bed. Mac has been sleeping in the bed, as established last time.
I'll put the foreman in the hammock.
Okay. Miterand will kind of like do a couple of little gestures, and just sort of nod, and yeah, he'll kind of sort of reach into his pocket, and he'll look, and he'll sort of, again, doing these gestures, he looks up. Mac, you actually kind of recognize this. This is actually kind of goetic magic that he's using. Apparently, he's got a relationship with a pre-existing relationship with some spirit or other. So as he just sort of looks up, you can tell there's a small, there's a little small ball of light, basically, appears. And Miterand just sort of looks up. Watch this one, would you? To make sure he's all right. See if just monitor his vitals. And the ball of light is like, and just sort of and just hovers in the corner quietly. Do you decide that here is where you want to sit and chat, or are you moving to the mine, or are you going somewhere else?
Well, while there was another reason why Mac opened up the apartment the way he did.
Mm-hmm.
He's worried about traps, so he figured if
that's
he
fair.
Opened it up, it would allow a lot of light in to be able to peer inside and look around, see if anything looks tampered with.
Sort of glancing around, everything looks the way it was. Nothing terribly tricky, but let me go ahead and check something. Okay. You are looking around for signs of certain things. This will be a challenge of 11. Are there particular things you would like to throw at this?
So we're definitely going to use perception bending.
Okay. That's down to 10. I should probably also draw another card at this point, come to think of it, so we can figure out where we are. So we've only had one card drawn. Let's see. Ah, okay. This would be the Banished Serpent. You go ahead and pull that up. So, the Banished Serpent. It's been a little while since we've had the Banished Serpent. Its meanings are balance, exile, and punishment. Vislino exile for them their time in shadow, but for them and their time in shadow, the exile was self-imposed. The Banished Serpent was cast out, sent back from whence it came. Banishment rids us of a problem, but it does not bring it to a permanent end. It is rarely a true solution. Rather, it is most often a punishment. We banish those who have threatened us or wronged us because exile is what they fear. The fact that it ends the threat, at least temporarily, is just an added benefit. As a punishment, then, it is an act of balance, an appropriate and measured response to an unwanted act. In divination, the Banished Serpent can be a blessing or a curse depending on who's getting exiled or punished. The card turn may suggest that the person in question faces this fate, but it might also be someone else involved in the matter at hand. Sometimes, though, it can simply be a balancing of the metaphorical scales. It means that someone gets what's coming to them, whether that be good or bad. It's a settling of accounts, so to speak. Right. So, the, as you are, so yeah, so that helps me flavor this thing. So this is a, and the thing that and part of the purpose in drawing this is so that I can check. This is a silver card. So we're going to turn on the Silver Sun. There we go. Okay. So silver is up. This is a mysteries card. So now that we've determined that, so no one's getting any special bonuses from my notes here. Apparently, no one's getting any special bonuses from this right now, unless they're doing some kind of blue magic. But yes, so like I said, it was a difficulty of 11, challenge of 11, and you threw a bene at it, and that would bring it down to 10. Anything else?
Would the Jenga Tower spirit be helpful in any way?
Yeah, if you want to contact if you want to contact Switch, if you want to take the time to do that, because they're not here all the time, obviously, then they can, then they would be of help, probably.
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
Okay. So Mac is basically going to be spending a little time watching the. So Mac is going to be doing a security check, essentially, right now. That is going to take a little bit of time. I'm still going to have you roll this in a moment, but I just want to know, in the meantime, while that is happening, since this will take a little bit, because you have to summon, you have to deal with Switch, and you have to figure out, kind of what's going on. Is anyone else just sort of are you folks going to be hanging out and chatting, or do you do something else?
We're all outside.
Yeah, this apartment has way more sun right now than you. Well, both outside and inside, because the apartment itself is open like a like a dollhouse.
Yeah, basically, it's if you were on the outside looking in, it's like you're looking into a sitcom set.
Yes.
Do the rest of us know that you're doing a little security check right now? Like, can we help? Would that be useful in any way, shape, or form?
I'm pretty sure Mac would like the assistance. He figured that this would probably be the quote-unquote safest place that they could gather right now, relatively, just because there isn't the threat of a mine imploding around them.
So, actually, I think while you're doing this, I'm just going to say, and so you're drawing the circle and you're getting ready to summon Switch. While you're doing this, you will see that someone just sort of walks up while you're doing this, and this individual who walks up is very easy to spot because it's an angel. So the tall vase of flowers angel, Djinnaya, is sort of stepping forward and just sort of looking around. They are holding a pot of coffee. They sort of step forward and it's like, is it time for this now, or because I noticed you were up early. Are we doing this today, or are we not doing this again until tomorrow?
I would love to have coffee with you. And I look sort of sideways at Miterand and I'm like, I have to finish this conversation and I'm not sure.
Miterand just sort of blinks quietly and he's like, Djinnaya just sort of looks at him and just sort of smiles as best a bouquet of flowers can smile. Just sort of beatifically, Miterand's like, oh God. Mac, you have summoned Switch. Switch is looking like the Tetris piece construction spirit, basically. Sort of shifting back and forth. It's like, yes?
So, something was brought to my attention that this home, this tower, was how do I put it? Well, its privacy has been breached, in the very least.
Oh.
And, I would like your assistance in trying to ferret out what it is that might have been placed here that is most decidedly unwelcome.
Oh, I see. And at this point, Djinnaya will just sort of look up. It's like, it's okay, I got it. We'll do the thing. And and Switch just sort of is like shuffles and he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll take a look around. And so yeah, apparently a side deal is just very quickly made, and Switch is willing to just go ahead and do it.
Oh, well, all right then.
So yeah, they will offer you aid in this. I'm going to give you for this, and after that, Djinnaya will just sort of again, after smiling beatifically and looking back over and at back to Shaw, and looks back to Shaw and says, "Okay, I'll hang back. I'll hang back a bit." And just sort of waves and nods to Miterand, and then turns and just sort of drifts off until they're standing directly across the street watching everyone.
Got it. Yeah. She'll turn back and be like, I'm so sorry, it's so hard to schedule.
So you're gonna get so we have knocked, so let's see, it was down to a 10. This is gonna knock another couple off of this. So with Switch running around, so that's gonna bring it down to an 8 or better. Was there anything else you want to throw at this?
Djinnaya suggested game theory.
Game theory. Actually, no, it's a Jenga tower. Yeah,
It's a skill.
you actually can use. I'll let you use game theory on this. It's a Jenga tower.
Okay.
How many levels of that do you
that's
have right now?
That's a level. I have 3.
Okay, so that'll actually take it down to a 5 or better.
Anybody else want to do anything? Oh, wait. I think Mac is actually going to pull out his Testament of Sons.
Okay.
I'm sure there's something that he can do with this thing. He just, he just starts pointing it around.
There's I
Hoping
don't.
that something just activates. I know you mentioned the list of things that
Yeah.
or abilities or powers that
Yeah, there were a couple of abilities. I
I had
don't.
unlocked with it.
I don't think they're specific to this situation. They're relevant to this specific situation, but I don't think. Let me see.
I don't remember. At best, I was thinking this would be kind of like.
I think we just sort of talked about it.
Like Dumbo's feather.
Well, one of them has to do with appearance of things. I think I tied them to your ability to summon beings.
Yeah.
There's like one being that you can have on call that we have yet to determine what that is, and it's of a certain level. I remember that one, and then the other one I think just involved you're being able to sort of let other people see the beings. I think that's what they were. Without or maybe it was projecting the image of beings, using the image of beings that you've. Yeah, it had something to do with beings that you've had, that you've given a ride to. It had something to do with like the last being that you gave a ride to. You have the ability to use their image, if I remember correctly.
I think. All right. So I think the other thing that Mac is going to do is he's just going to try to rack his memory about the dream and see if there's any clues that his dream might have given him that could lead to or be an indicator that.
I'll give you another point on that actually. That might actually help. So yeah, there'll be 4 or better.
All right, we're gonna do this.
Okay. Well, not quite. So, the thing that as you're sort of going around, it's like there have been some adjustments here. You find that it looks. It's hard to pinpoint. Switch is picking up some kind of something that it's like, well, there's nothing physically here that's new. It feels as though there's been some kind of a metaphysical thing. It's hard to explain. But there are no spells on it, new spells on it. It's just got. It's like someone has scryed on this place recently. That's all I can really pick up. And you've been looking around, you're not finding much of anything else.
Mac is just gonna mutter, "Man friend," and I want to say that like there's an echo of a studio audience laughing as he says that.
Oh no! Like everyone looks
He
around
says
for
it the way that
yeah.
Seinfeld would have said Newman.
Yeah. The audience, studio audience laughs for a moment. Everyone looks around for a second, and the mime quietly, sheepishly waves from the corner and then goes back down the street. But yeah, you've done a sweep. You haven't found anything. You folks want to have your convo here, or what do you want to do?
I mean, I will not want to leave the foreman by himself.
Sure.
So unless somebody shoos us away, I think they will have a conversation
Okay.
with this strange, awkward angel audience across the street,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, just kind of. Yeah.
So I'll turn to Shantanu and be like, "Did you catch Aroshka up?"
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Good. Then you understand. And then I'll turn back and say, "Okay, so yes."
And he just sort of points when you mention Aroshka. That was that's okay.
That's me.
Huh. Huh. I appreciate your efforts.
Oh, okay.
But yes, as far as I say, no, we hadn't any. If you want to know from our perspective, there's a lot we've been trying to move on recently, but nothing. We've not seen any. I've not seen any specific indications of people in our ranks. What is what have you got? Or what do you want to know? Because it seems you wanted more information first.
Well, I don't know. You said this crew went to the train, and they were
Kelly
doing
and
some
Adney
things.
took them.
Yes. So they were doing some things on the train that were inadvisable. I guess I sort of look at the angel across the street and say, "I'm not usually a fan of your work, but I understand that you're not terrible, and there's another group that seems terrible, maybe more terrible, but definitely terrible. And well, what do you think of, well, we know what they're called, right, Jim?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Yeah, you've heard their name.
What are your opinions of the Vespertine?"
Rumors. I've heard rumors. But, no, the Vespertine, as I've not heard much about them making any moves recently. If they're doing anything, they're doing it far removed. They're trying to get closer to the void, from what I hear. And I mean, the void has its advantages, of course. The void has its, I guess it can have a certain allure. It can be, and he just sort of looks down at this because again, the apartment's still open, I would presume, like a dollhouse. So this, so he just sort of looks down at the alpaca for a second. He looks down at Mop, and he just sort of shrugs and kind of pets its head a little bit, and is like, it gets a little shocked, and he's like, it can have its certain things of interest. It's got a helpful perspective sometimes, but you have to be careful, and you have to choose who you deal with from the void very carefully, and they do not. They are, from what I understand, extraordinarily bent on destroying everything, and that is, entropy has its place, but we don't go that far. we're more about personal freedom. We don't want to end everything for everyone, you know?
Oh. Well, she did. Well, she still does. You have a problem, and it's some sort of traitor infiltration problem, and it's apparently something that Dark-Eyed Manfred was willing to, or at least the people he works for, were willing to deal quite a lot that you didn't have any proof that you had.
I mean, do you have any, this is the thing, is that, I mean, I can try to take this to someone, but I need some sort of evidence.
I mean, I pull out the cage. It's like, well, I've got her right here.
Ah. Right, so if you, would you, and he just sort of looks, where he sort of peers, and she's, and she seems to be in some kind of a, she's in a sitting position, and her eyes are closed. He's like, he seems perturbed when he's there. Is this necessary?
What?
Keeping a cage like this.
Keeping her in the cage?
Yes.
Or keeping the cage in general?
No, keeping her in the cage.
Well, I mean, I can let her out. But then you have to, 1, be responsible for her, and 2, be responsible for her actions.
Well, as I said, if you'll remand her into my custody, then I give you my word that until we've finished looking into this, been able to investigate her situation properly, we'll make no further moves against you.
I sort of look around at everyone.
And I want to find out, I want to find out what's going on with this, because if we've got the kind of problem that you say we have, then we need to be, then especially right now, the way things are, we've got to...
All right, and then you'll let us know what the problem was and why it was so important to Dark-Eyed Manfred.
Yeah, I can share any intel that I find out. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, unless Infolosa decides to gainsay me on this, and I don't think she will. It's important to... Self-interrogation's important to us as well. And I think that, this is important.
All right. Then I will remand her to you. You owe us a favor and some information.
Well, maybe you haven't changed as much as I thought, but fine. That's absolutely fine.
You can think of me whatever you want. And Shaw snaps her fingers and takes a step back, and the person will appear right next to.
And actually, he will. So as she does, she'll be like, and he'll be like, "Come on," and he immediately kind of takes charge of being able to, she's very weak because she's been stuck in this cage for some time, and there are certain rigors involved in in the interrogation process that the interrogation spell that you use. And so you're like, thank you. I will let you know as soon as I find something out. It's going to be a few days. We have things in motion. But once we get past that, I should be in a position to be able to get back to you a lot faster. And he prepares, he's like essentially helping her to stand. And he is preparing to move off with her. Are you folks good with that? Is there anything else you want to do before he takes off? All right.
I think Mac is just going to ask, so, what does Manfred work for?
Whoever pays price, from what I understand.
Who that is right now?
Haven't a clue. The man changes allegiances with the wind, it seems. I'm not particularly fond of him, so I don't make it my business to know to delve into his business. I can tell you we've not used him.
I mutter under my breath, well, that's at least one point in their favor.
There's being a mercenary, and then there's being the embodiment of a mercenary. And he'll leave his card, in case you need to get in touch. You can hit the noosphere if you need it, and he'll continue stepping off with the woman he has identified as Caliadne. And as he is heading off, he gets a little ways down the street, and Cezenua drifts forward. Coffee pot still in hand. We'll look and says, and we'll say, so, how would you like to know what they're actually up to? Muted.
That would be lovely. I pull out some empty coffee cups.
He nods. There's a ritual we should probably have a little chat about. And I think actually this is a good place to end it. If you folks would be all right with that. Is there anything... I will go ahead and as I customarily ask, is there anything else you want to make sure we get in before we bring this to a close tonight? I think you're muted, Wilde.
The foreman is resting in the room now, right?
Yes, yeah, the foreman is now resting. He's now at rest. There's actually still a little, there's a little med spirit just sort of still hovering nearby him. Are we good? Is there anything?
I think we're good.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. This actually, this session ended up possibly a little bit little bit calmer than even I had anticipated, but that's I feel it's probably not. I think that's probably warranted after last session. At least as far as that goes. But that's cool. We're gonna go ahead and go around and see if check on our joy and despair. Let me go ahead and actually pull that up in my notes here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start once again with Djinnaya. Do you think that Shah has any joy or despair today?
No, I don't know. I kind of think that, I mean, there's no point for relief, but she's definitely relieved to have this person out of the cage and no longer, like, literally in her pocket.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a joy. Like, the last time that she had somebody in the cage, she had to kill them. So, yeah. So there's like, does that count as a joy? Or joy and relief the same thing?
Not having to kill someone. I think. Yeah. I mean, that's.
Yeah, I think
I take that as a joy. We can take that as a joy.
She used her Galler abilities in the way that she wants to, which is to hold on to bad people until she can get them to a place where other people can handle them. So,
okay,
I'm gonna call it a joy.
You ever have that thing where you start your the ending activities and you suddenly remember something or think of something that you think you want to kind of insert briefly? Just a final closing little thing. I'm going to do that in a moment. I think that... no, I'll go ahead. Actually, I'll go ahead and just briefly just mention it now. This is actually for Aroshka. Because I think as... there was something that Miterand either did or said that unlocked something, and you kind of remember a little bit where you might have seen him before. And you have a vague memory of this, but when you think that Vor was associating with him at some point, or people that he was associating with, I don't think you approved, because Church of Midnight.
Yeah.
And he was also, as you recall, he wasn't in the middle of it, but he was one of the people you think that you kind of remember questioning. And possibly you think that Mac questioned when Vor went missing, shortly before the war. So that's something you finally just sort of clicks into place as he's sort of been walking away.
I was wondering, because earlier when he was like, "Oh, Roshka, that's your name, right?" And
Yeah.
he said something like, "Good work." Was that directed at me?
It was. I appreciate your efforts, he said.
This makes me highly suspicious of this person as a person that they appreciate the shit I did to them. Current me is like,
Anyway, I just wanted to get, so my apologies, I just wanted to get that in because I was like, wait, I need to say this. But now let's continue with our joy and despair, and we'll go to Shantano. Wilde, do you think Shantano got any joy or any despair today?
I don't think they got anything. They didn't do their one job, so...
You had one job! Alas. All right, and now back over to Arras. Do we think that Aroshka got any joy or any despair today?
I kind of don't think so. I think Aroshka mostly stood around being vaguely confused.
Yeah.
And then maybe slightly annoyed, but didn't really count for much.
He's fair. These things will happen. But then over to Nino. Do we think Mac got any joy or any despair today?
No, I don't think he did.
Okay. Yeah. This one was a kind of a more of an even keel type thing, because it's sort of I kind of had realized after I got into it. Well, they made their point with the initial attack, and it's like, yeah, these are with these creatures that they're using, which we didn't really even talk about what those were, but anyone who goes back and does the research, anyone who goes back and does the research later or tries to figure it out, will probably realize that these these beings are called nulls, and they cease to exist when you look at them. When you perceive them, they cease to exist. So they're sometimes hired out as assassins or thieves or what have you. And so the Church of Midnight does hire them from time to time. But in any case, let's go ahead and do our outros. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you and any final thoughts you have about the session. And we will go ahead and start in our reverse order of the people we have here today. Normally we would start with Danielle, but as she's not with us, we will start with Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino4K. Right now, this is the only place you can find me, stream-wise. But, if anything comes up, be announced on Twitter. Final thoughts for today. I don't know if we got any answers that we really wanted. There seems to be a lot of void stuff going on, so yeah, find that very interesting. That we are trending so close to the end of all things.
The void only grows. Yeah, we'll see. It is a thing. All right, and now over to Arras.
Hello, I'm Arras, or Animus Panthera. I'm Animus Panthera, or Animus.Panthera, practically everywhere on the internet, but I'm mostly on Twitter. Right now, I am, it's a crowdfunding campaign. It's on Zoop, actually, for a comic book by New York Times best-selling artist Ethan Kochak, who is an amphibian enthusiast. He's a really funny guy. He's really passionate about newts and salamanders and conservation and all that great stuff. It is already successfully funded, so the book is for sure happening, but we still have some stretch goals and just about 2 weeks left to go. So if you want to get some cool stuff, you can head on over there. I got links all over my Twitter. Big news. As for this session, it was like a surprisingly chill session, but also kind of frustrating because mostly we just stood around and then got denied the things we wanted. But yeah, just nice little session to come back to. Many things are happening.
Yeah, that's fair. It is weird. A lot of stuff that tried to happen ended up not happening, and so I have failed. Oh God! But no, hopefully we can follow up with these things and see more of what's going on very soon. But now let us go over to Wilde.
Yes, hello. I'm Wilde at Wilde Engineer on Twitch and Twitter. Right now you can find me here, and currently only here because I've been taking a bit of a break from online stuff. So yeah, it's a nice chill episode, and if the worst that Manfred did was a little bit of scrying in the rooms, what's to worry about?
Yeah. You just looked in, that's all it was. Everything's fine. I'm sure everything's just fine. Everything will be all right.
Famous last words.
Yes. Indeed. Indeed. Okay, and finally over to Djinnaya.
Hi, my name's Djinnaya, and I make art and play good games with nice people, but right now, this is the only place I do that on stream, because playing games off stream is rad. So yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, and thoughts on game. No, I'm not quite. I somehow thought that our interaction with the Church of Midnight was going to be a little bit more spooky, I guess, than it was. Like, I was really ready for spooky, and then it didn't happen, and then I don't think I knew what to do.
It was a strange thing. I ended up, I drew the revolutionary, and so I was just, it's one of those things where like, okay, how do I interpret this? And so it ended up going that way. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's it.
Okay, yeah, it's fair. No, that's absolutely fair. I'm sure I'm sure that their membership is perfectly capable of being spooky. It's just that you happened to catch them in a moment when they were like, "What is going on? We're not sure." So it was a bit of an oddity. But I have a feeling, however, I will say, there may be a bit of that to come. But we'll see where this goes. In the meantime, who am I? I'm Jim. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. On Wednesday afternoons on this channel, we are playing Void's End, which is a sort of a mashup of a few different systems that I'm using, Durance and Dirty Secrets and In a Wicked Age, to try to do a space noir game, basically doing an investigation on a distant planet. And then on Saturday nights we have this, and that's most of what's going on right now. When we hit the end card, I'm going to go ahead and send a raid. I think we'll go ahead and send a raid over to RF Chaos, or I guess that could be Roll for Chaos, as they are playing what I think is possibly something superhero related, possibly, just from the fonts that are being employed. We'll see. We'll go ahead and go say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you're so inclined and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.